through every casino there is. I heard there's one of my biggest fans here in town. I was dying to see him. Dying to see him.
June 8th, 2025. It was just another ordinary day for Finny the Legend and his wife Bubbly. They were in Vegas, streaming to over 380 people and enjoying the night, when suddenly, Manny enters the scene. This is Sin City Manny, another YouTuber with over 30,000 subscribers who's about to throw everything away and completely destroy two families over a YouTube beef. Now, due to the graphic nature of what happens next, I won't be able to show the video. However, to understand how an ordinary beef between two creators led to a violent confrontation, we might need to take a trip back in time to a year ago. So let's talk about it. Unfortunately, Manny's account was deleted a few days ago, so we don't have any access to his content to reconstruct a timeline of events. However, when you go over to Finny's channel, something strange seems to stand out. Because not only was Finny live almost every single day, he also seemed to be obsessed with Manny. He was constantly attacking Manny and his wife, criticizing every little thing that the other guy did. This raised a very important question. Why was Finny obsessed with Manny and made him the subject of almost every single stream? Before I go too far, I'd like to say that I do not condone violent behavior, and for any reason whatsoever, I don't blame Finny for what happened to him. He didn't deserve to lose his life like that on camera, and Manny is a horrible human being who should face the worst punishment possible. That's my sentiment. However, I also had to figure out what really caused the beef between the two of them. Unfortunately, this is a very niche drama, which means that there isn't so much information available on the whole drama. And since Manny's channel has now been banned, there's no way to find his own streams talking about Finny. However, according to Derek Ware, a close friend of Finny, the feud began in 2023 after Manny allegedly pepper sprayed Bubbly. Apparently, this singular incident led to this crazy back and forth that went on and on for a whole year. It also appears that Finny and Manny actually used to collaborate in some way in the past, but their relationship broke down after many of his viewers switched over to Finny since they found him more entertaining for some reason. Also, this wasn't the first time Manny would try to take the whole beef to dangerous territory. See, I found this Twitter channel called Sin City Family, which was supposedly run by Finny before he passed, and it looks like it was also dedicated to harassing Manny. I mean, every single video was just about attacking Manny, or SCF, which is the name of Manny's channel, Sin City Family, calling him out for allegedly scamming his fans, exposing him for using the N-word on camera, attacking his wife Julie, exposing the guy for allegedly beating up some homeless guy, and a bunch of other things. But if you scroll down that Twitter feed, you'll find a very interesting video. Catch you at the red light, Finny. This guy looks and talks like a psychopath. Unfortunately, Finny didn't take the threats seriously.
But nobody, I wouldn't even take this to none of my people because they would be like, they would laugh at me if I really saw somebody from YouTube. I'm like, bro, man, this dude from YouTube said he gonna take me out, man. And then if I showed him who it was, man, they would clown me, man.
From my research, it seems that everyone else around Finny took this threat very seriously. They knew Manny, and they knew he was serious about hurting or even ending Finny's life. Unfortunately, Finny believed that Manny's threats were empty.
Yourself and your family. Like I said, I know you don't like to be a snitch. Nobody likes to be a snitch. But that's a blatant, threat and death threat at that. I said what I needed to say, but I worry for you, so, and especially the fam, so please do something.
I definitely appreciate it.
And if you're wondering why he's got a sting makeup on, yeah, that's his style. Apparently, the painting was inspired by the music group ICP and is his signature look. However, not only did Finny think this makeup was weird, but he also believed that Manny was mentally unstable.
Like, who leaves the house looking like that? Like, what about leaving the house like that makes you feel like that's tight? Like when he left and he put that makeup on as a guy, and then he put the hat on with the fake cholo outfit. Like, what about that? Like, what do you think he said? Like, do you think he was like, man, I look hard tonight? Like, what is his goal? I don't get it. What's his goal? Does he want to look like a clown? Does he want to look like a cholo? What's his goal?
The clip you just watched is part of a 5-hour stream from just 5 days before the incident. The entire stream was spent harshly mocking Manny and his wife Julie. However, they weren't just throwing around insults, they were also attacking each other with false copyright strikes. Finny even bragged about the strikes during one of his streams.
Let's get this clear though, y'all, because we all laugh and joke. This is a PR moment. We all laugh and joke, but mental illness is real, and we can clearly see this guy is mentally ill. So one thing about it, that's why I want to put it on y'all too. If he give us another strike and I got 3, y'all know that channel mean everything to him. He don't got no outside friends, nothing. I don't think I could do it in my heart. And I'm saying this on live so he can hear it too. Shout out LDT. But I don't think I can take his channel from him, man, because I think he's so close to going in the closet, man. And he's so close, man.
Fuck that.
Again, I have to say, I don't blame Finny in any way for what happened to him. He didn't deserve to die like that. However, when you can clearly see that this person you're feuding with has shown signs that they're capable of taking their own lives, you should know they're capable of doing absolutely anything. For a very long time, it looked like the beef would be limited to online jabs and harassment campaigns, you know, just like iDubbbz and Ethan and Hassan. However, it turns out that Manny did have the intention of taking the situation to a whole new level. Because on June 7th, the day before the shooting, Manny actually filmed himself driving around Vegas looking for Finny.
Jerome, I'm out here searching for my baby.
For some context, Finny's real name is Jerome, so obviously he's looking to even the score with the man he'd been feuding with over the internet. I mean, it's not the first time people would try to bring their online drama into real life. Sniper Wolf literally posted Jack's Film's house on the internet, so it's not essentially a new thing. However, just looking at Manny, you'd clearly see that this guy wasn't messing around. He was looking for blood.
I went through every casino there is. I heard there's one of my biggest fans here in town. I'm dying to see him. I'm dying to see him. What are we doing? Fuel bar tonight? Is that what we're doing? I'll be there. I'll be there. Come to my city and think I'm not gonna show up? You think I'm not gonna show up? I should have been the first one to be told. Right? Somebody should have sent me my invite. Mr. Marquez.
Yeah, lock this guy up and throw away the key. He's a psychopath. Unfortunately, Finny still didn't take the threat seriously, because the very next day, he and his wife were streaming outside the Bellagio in Vegas, broadcasting their location live to the internet, and a vengeful, bloodthirsty murderer who tracked them down to the location and shot them both to death. You could see the exact moment Manny walks past them, and although I can't show the rest of the video due to its graphic nature, Manny then walks back, pulls out a gun, and fires a few shots at Finny. Bubbly was still alive at this point, in shock as she watched her husband get killed. He then turned his gun on Bubbly and ended her life right there too. They were both pronounced dead on the spot. This story is really chilling because it proves that sometimes online feuds don't stay online, and although the internet isn't real life, it can lead to real life consequences. The case has also been attracting a few conspiracy theories, many of which have tried to tie Manny's wife into the whole situation, because apparently Julie was also streaming at the same spot where Finny and his wife were brutally murdered. Another tweet also called for her arrest, stating that here she is seen walking away from the crime scene after her husband Manny shot them, holding his shirt and cap while she texts someone. But since Manny ended up turning himself over to the police, we still don't know if he'll be tried alone, or if his wife will also face some charges, probably for conspiracy to commit murder. As for Manny's trial, he has been charged with 2 counts of open murder, which means he'll probably be charged with either capital murder or first-degree murder. In his defense though, Manny claims he fired the weapon because he feared for his life. According to his statement, Finny the Legend made a threatening motion, reached toward his waistband, and said, "What up, cuz?" A phrase Sin City Mannywise claims he interpreted as a threat. Believing Finny was about to pull a weapon, he says he fired in self-defense. He also admitted to shooting Bubbly, saying he thought she had a shiny black object, which he feared was a gun. That object was later identified by witnesses as a phone gimbal. Honestly, it's just a really sad situation. I mean, these were 2 40-plus men whose whole lives have now been destroyed because of a YouTube beef. These people had kids, they had families that will now have to live with the trauma of seeing their parents shot dead on camera. Hopefully, Manny faces the worst punishment possible. Of course, the state is pretty open to capital punishment, and obviously everyone can see that this was premeditated decapitated, so it doesn't look like Manny will escape the lethal injection. Thanks for watching this video, and please drop a prayer for Finny's family in the comments. See you in the next video.